Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Orion campaign vlog.
Yay!
The
Yes.
crew and the main crew.
Levi!
Levi!
Levi.
Wish you could be
Maybe that's the name of the session.
Levi! With like 10
Heart,
exclamation
heart,
points.
and a few
For
hearts.
those of you-
And
yeah.
we gotta add the hearts.
Felix and Levi. Levi and Felix.
Felix, no. Levi, no.
For those of you who are watching, as many of you probably remember, this campaign is, while we're recording this, is a secret, a big secret from not only the main cast, but also hopefully a lot of you viewers who are watching at the time as a big secret. And so the sessions for the main campaign have started to come out, and we currently are in the middle of releasing session number 3, I believe.
Yeah, session 3.
So this is really interesting because I am trying to schedule these spin-off sessions in such a way that I can take events that are happening on both sides and somehow merging them. I think Jojo, who's been watching quite religiously, has noticed a lot of that happening already.
Yeah, I've been loving it.
Don't be surprised if stuff that you guys did in this session is going to start trickling into some of the future sessions that you're going to be seeing.
Yeah.
the news report about 12 dead bodies.
I am so excited for the results of this session.
I have to start to watch the season second. I have to actually. I haven't watched the last of the second season.
Yeah.
I think I haven't watched the latest season 2.
That's fine. We're going to try not to spoil anything for you.
I'm still a bit behind too, but I'm trying.
One thing I want to say is, one thing I would like to start with is, I just want to say I enjoyed every single guest character today, like really a lot. Everyone was very well defined and very interesting and engaged in a way and contributed a lot.
And very different. I love how diverse. We had a very cool representation, even with Celeste.
Yeah.
Like Norio's history and background and origin is very different from Muriel, who's also very different from Mason, and of course also very different from Celeste. So it's really interesting. You guys did a great job of, I don't know if you pre-planned this, but coming up with cool ways to look at the vampire community in different lights.
And one thing I want to say is that I really enjoyed Mason as this villainous guy. I liked how at first he seemed like a somewhat, when in the first flashback he seemed like somewhat reasonable, but a bit skeevy, but is still somewhat a reasonable person. And then we get more and more hints of what he was actually like, until we got to the present day, and he's now
Scumbag.
I was gonna say I really actually enjoyed seeing the difference between Mason and Gabriel because they actually were close in age. And Mason is actually like this almost like, I'm gonna live forever, so why should I care at this point? He enjoys a little bit of that, the more stereotypical vampire stuff of violence and what amuses me. I'm better, so I can amuse myself like this. Whereas Gabriel was much more of an attempt at being a peacemaker. I loved seeing that conflict considering they're close in age. I loved seeing that. I loved how you played Gabriel.
How well they've held on to their humanity.
I have to, since Jojo mentioned it, I definitely want to give props to Drake in particular because his role playing is very challenging because I think that it's very easy for the other characters / players to gang up on his character because he does seem to be a little bit more of the odd one out in terms of his character's attitude and belief system. So it's hard. It's really hard for a player to do that. So again, if Drake, you're watching, you did a fantastic job. Thank you very much for putting yourself in that position in the first place, because it's tough, especially when you have essentially 5 other people that are probably going to be completely 100% against you. And I'm glad that for the rest of you 5, I'm glad you gave at least an opportunity for Mason to tell his story whether you agreed with it or not.
Yeah, no, I loved how you played Gabriel Hark. It broke my heart.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, thank
a good
you.
person.
I honestly, you told me, you essentially, when Ken was telling me about Gabriel, they essentially said it's like Blackwall from Dragon Age Inquisition. So I just kind of tried channeling Blackwall the whole
He's
time.
very Blackwall. He's very Blackwall.
Yeah.
Mm.
So that was my
With bad
reference.
history.
And I'm glad I asked, because I actually originally envisioned Gabriel to be a much younger person. So I'm glad I got that detail instead.
The one thing, like, we got a little bit of it. I think it goes to how great of a pro player you are, Hark. Because the relationship that Celeste had with Gabriel was really complicated. I don't know if we're really going to be able to get much into it later on in the game, so I don't mind talking about it.
You can talk about it. Yeah, tell us
Because
if you
it
like.
was mildly romantic. Like, they were intimate in ways, but it was intimacy and romance based off of dependence. She was entirely dependent on him until he died. And that's why she acted so differently in that flashback than she does now. She used to be kind of shy and nervous.
I don't know if it's going to be brought up, unless you think it will be brought up, but do you want to share with us the details of Gabriel's death? Or would you save that?
I did a little bit in the game, but he was, as far as Celeste knows, he was murdered by the Ministry just because he didn't want to go hunting down another vampire. She doesn't know entirely how he died because he made her run away. Likely he was either beheaded or burned alive. The majority of the rest of her clan was actually killed as well. And that plus how she actually became a vampire, which we touched on a little bit, is one reason why she actually has an intense hatred for the Ministry. She blames the Ministry entirely for Gabriel's death and believes, like, this is why I'm going to fight against it. I'd rather do it peacefully, but if it comes to it, I will kill as many of them as I need to. She got hardened by it significantly.
So what you're saying is you didn't see a body, so there's a chance he's alive.
True. If he is alive and Hark pulls that out on me, I will probably cry, which sucks because I wear a lot of mascara when I play these games.
Munition.
And I don't think I ever mentioned it, but Gabriel's clan name was Milevsky.
Malevsky. Okay.
Yeah.
There's one thing I would like to the killing of vampires has reminded me of, like when you Hark mentioned that part about Miwa.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. What?
So we learned about Miwa.
Yeah, and
yeah,
they give me kind of a pause and wow, we're seeing a different side to a character we know as a pretty cool person.
Yeah.
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 What,
I was really sad when Miwa died because I was like, oh man, she's gonna survive, and then death.
And now
Yeah.
we know that she was involved in the deaths of a lot of vampires.
Yeah, she wasn't exactly a pure soul.
Yeah.
Well, to be fair, she thought the thing she was doing was right and important, to be fair.
Mhm.
And Albion, like I said, did not know. Albion knew that she was very good at her job in the Ministry of Magic. They just didn't know. He just never knew what she actually did. Obviously, she didn't have a desk job. And when they found out about, when he was there present, seeing her in action to her unfortunate and timely death, realized that whatever she did must have been really dangerous if she needed to have that sort of training. So now you learn something about this, and you might start to question, like, do we really know characters like Miwa? And I guess I was just I threw that in there just to tell you that all of the characters are very complicated, and they're not black and white. There's a lot of shades of gray, and Miwa definitely has a lot of shades of gray in her as well.
Yeah, I was definitely thinking, like, Norio. We've already seen him in the non-canon, but all canon in our hearts.
Oh,
TIC chat, and like how he would definitely be friendly with Levi and to a slightly lesser extent Al, because he's had less experience with him in there. But after that, that would be a hard gap to jump for Norio.
Yeah.
He's definitely a vampire rights kind of person. Even if he
Yeah.
can't tell people that he is at all times.
It's I think what's really interesting is that Albion, if you are watching this campaign right now, he very much is not a big fan of his father at all. And he has many reasons to despise him and dislike him. And then by contrast, he sort of puts his mom on a pedestal and is like, my mom is so wonderful and she can never do wrong and all that good stuff. So I'm going to be very curious to find out, especially what AJ's reaction is going to be when he sees this, because I don't know. I think the sad thing is, I don't know if you consider this sad. I don't think in character, Albion will ever know that detail about his mom. I don't think. Oh, he might eventually find out that his mom was essentially a vampire hunter, but I don't think he's gonna know, like, to what extent she took that position. You know.
On the map, we write Albion. Guess what?
Your mother.
I do not know who these people, what their names are. I want
Yeah, it was a joke.
I actually have an idea of what I'm going to write down in this message, but I'm really looking forward to it.
I want to know if there's anything that surprised anyone during this session, including you, Hark, if anything super surprised you.
Yes, but I will let other people answer that
I
question.
didn't know the food would be so good.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate you humoring what little representation of my people's culture.
The standing moment.
Can I say that Michael brings back some egg rolls and lumpias?
Oh yeah,
yes.
Felix would have wanted to help with that. Felix would have wanted to help with that.
Yes.
Oh, 100%.
Yes.
He's like,
Oh, yeah.
Norio brings a box for himself.
We haven't really gotten to see like the office time with these people, so I actually imagine Celeste and Scythe still have their lunches together and just are kind of gal-palling.
Yeah. I wish we had more time to like. I had initially intended to have more role playing in between missions, but there's just a lot.
Yeah, there's a lot
we're trying to do, and this last session took almost 5 hours, and so I was like, I can't.
Yeah, we have seen nothing of Rodney.
Yeah, we've seen nothing of Rodney.
Yeah, no, I wanted to bring Rodney back. It's just been really hard, but I do hope to at least have one more thing about Rodney. But I'm gonna let you in a little bit more a secret that Rodney was introduced in this act mostly because he's supposed to play a larger role in Act 2.
Oh.
So he's this act is supposed to be like an introduction to his character, and hopefully he'll survive into Act 2 to get.
I'm so excited to see the main group's reaction when they find out the connection between Rodney and Felix.
Yeah.
Well, I was waiting for JoJo's reaction because I knew he was watching that episode, and he immediately what did you immediately message when you saw Rodney appear?
I read message. I messaged in the Truth Is Out There chat, Rodney. Oh my god.
But
back to try to answer your question. Does anybody have other surprises? Was anyone else surprised about anything this?
I was definitely surprised that I had a ring.
Yeah, you didn't know that, did you?
Yeah.
But it really is so fitting because Norio would love to be the healer.
Yeah.
This actually isn't really in his actual background that Hark you yourself have. But he was apprenticing underneath the potions master for his clan while he went through some of his warrior training. When the Manticore event happened, and that killed the potions master, and the potions master was the healer and potions maker of the clan. So
yeah. I was gonna say that when I saw the ring, noticed the ring when you guys mentioned ring, I thought for sure that this Celeste was gonna end up with the ring.
Oh, Celeste would end up with the ring.
Yeah, that's what I thought was gonna happen. So that every wizard part of Orion would end up with one, but
what I think is funny is I think I'm the only one who's not compatible with the ring at all.
Yeah, I noticed that part.
I don't think.
Because I think the only two that weren't compatible were Libra and Pisces, I think.
Yeah.
But I'm not a mage, so I don't think I can use it at all.
I mean, to be
I'm probably
fair,
right there
though,
with you.
the thing is,
Probably be
Felix technically can't cast magic unless the ring is on the wand. So I
Yeah.
wonder what would happen if somebody gave Michael a wand with one of the rings on it. Would he be able to use magic?
Interesting.
Because I mean, somebody
interesting
here has an
idea.
extra wand.
Yeah, I'm
We want to
very
give him
curious
a
why.
Death Eater roll wand.
We could always just take him to find his own wand.
Oh boy.
I think we just need to pump the brakes. I was just saying that I can't do it because I'm not a mage.
Or we could always just give him the healing wand.
my Templar heart is just can't deal with that. I just like it took me like a million sessions to start using my bracer in the main.
Right.
Kevin, embrace your inner mage.
No way, man.
Oh,
Unknown magic.
mage with
Danger, Will Robinson.
You can try giving it. You can try giving it to Rodney.
Oh, oh no.
That actually would be a fun scene.
Oh,
Hey, Rod, that would be super fun.
oh,
scene.
that would be
different
a
kind
fun
of magic.
scene. I just don't know if Felix would trust him with that. Who knows?
Who knows?
We'll have to see when we next see Rodney.
Yeah.
Oh.
The whole Voldemort and Professor Quirrell going like, "Hey, join up." That was so surprising. It was like, wait, what?
Oh, yeah.
Managed to pull all of my push all of my buttons this session arc. All of the backstory buttons.
Oh yeah.
Now it occurs to me. The cancer ring heals things. Your curse harms people. Could it be used to negate your curse?
Are you suggesting something, Norio?
I mean, he considers her a friend. They
Yeah.
haven't had.
He's pulling out his wand to.
I know.
Are you gonna pull it out and get down on one knee?
Oh,
Perhaps later.
Perhaps later. Oh,
Oh.
okay. Foreshadowing. Foreshadowing.
There's a possibility.
Let the shippings continue. It's not only the main cast that we need to
Oh,
ship.
But you know, he's definitely a healer at heart, so he could try and get that.
So, I'm just pointing out that that Muriel and Norio's ship name is Mario.
Sold.
Just
Ship is
saying.
fail.
It's a me, Mario.
And that ship is fair.
Yes. Hashtag Mario.
I
How do you
just,
spell noir?
all right.
I just hope nobody tries to come up with a ship name for Celeste and Michael because they all kind of sound a little wrong. No.
Hey guys,
That's still no.
Michael,
Bad.
if you
So-
flip that, you can almost get noir for the couple name.
Really? How?
N-O.
Uh-huh.
And then how do you spell Muriel's name?
M
Oh.
Riel.
Yeah.
So it's almost Noir. It's Noriel. Noriel. Almost Noir. There.
Really pretty.
so,
Lord of the Ringsy.
so Hark, what was the thing that surprised you most?
It was less surprise, more forgot that 8 years ago Norio would be 8 years old, which I love actually. I absolutely love having a kid in that mood because it just totally changes the environment a bit and just the tone, and I just loved. And I have to say, like Chris, you are adorable as baby Norio. Like
Chubby.
basically you and Albion oh my gosh, we need to do some sort of like can we say can we have like some sort of hypothetical like, because the problem is timeline wise it doesn't work, but hypothetically if we had baby Albion and baby Norio together on a play date,
I mean,
that'd be so cool.
we have someone who can manipulate time. There we go.
Oh,
That's true. Because you got You got the potions guy and the herbalist guy.
Mm.
Like, come on now. I would ship the two
I was
of you
gonna
so
say,
hard.
what is that ship name?
Orion?
Now?
Norian?
Aloe?
Norian? Aloe?
Aloe!
It would be Aloe! Yes! Aloe.
And that ship is failed.
All right, we need Albion and maybe in Act 2, Albion and Norio could be a thing.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Yeah.
Maybe it'll meet. I don't know.
Who knows?
HCAF.
Who knows?
But
I will
if you really want to wait, Norio's dad works for the Ministry. He's an Aur.
There you go.
Mom, dad.
Mm.
Oh yeah.
Uh,
Maybe they work together every now and then.
mhm.
I want to ask Kevin a question.
Yeah.
How is Michael handling everything right now?
That's a very good question.
I think because he does like he said, he likes it when the Band-Aid gets ripped off, so it's just everything all at once. And I feel like he just got hit by so many different things out of left field and right field, and that it's just kind of like taking a whole lot of time to just kind of digest everything. And I still see him as in being very shocked by all of these revelations, but he has to kind of like put on a face to like continue to do his job. And he like lets out a few snarky remarks every once in a while about things like, I don't understand the wand thing, it's just a piece of wood. Like that's kind of like his way of like trying to cope with everything and trying like to fully understand everything.
Go ahead.
I would still love a scene where Norio, just because he knows the Conjurer's spell, he just conjures something next to
Michael?
Michael.
Yeah, I absolutely zoned on that.
It's okay.
No wand, no words. Just it appears next to him, and then Norio walks away, not saying anything.
I admit,
And then it just disappears.
I'm looking forward to the day that Michael first sees a Patronus.
Yeah.
Especially since I don't know what Vito's Patronus is, but I know Celeste is probably going to be a bit of a shock. So I'm like super excited to see what his reaction to a Patronus is.
I don't know either. I don't know what his would be.
One unintentionally funny scene for me was when Felix tried to rewind time and no one noticed it.
He's just like, did you
I
see
got proof,
it? And we're
guys. I got proof.
like,
What did you do?
I'm questioning the. I think that kind of puts a damper on some of the use of it. But because, how do I undo events and not have them immediately play out the same way as they did last time?
Well, because
I mean,
Yeah.
You personally know.
Also-
Yeah, so
You personally
it kind
know.
of puts a bit more hinge on what he does in the future.
I mean, also, like, we don't know the full extent of that ring, so maybe eventually you could pause time so you could use it to, like, save somebody's
Yeah,
life.
Felix is gonna have to. Felix is probably gonna use a bunch of his free time just trying to figure out what he can do with it.
I mean, are you sure you don't want to let Rodney try controlling time? Are you sure you
Well
don't
enough
want?
for him already.
You know what? Felix will wait until he's particularly high, and
There you go.
and just try and get introduce it to him. Maybe help it.
I have no idea who this Rodney is, but the more I hear Hark going,
Amazing.
no, you should let him control time. I'm like, don't give him the wand. Don't.
I'm not gonna let him actually use it. Maybe I don't. I think I don't let him
We'll
use
see.
it once, and that was and just as an experiment.
You're just gonna let him do it once, and then the entire place will be burning down.
Oh.
he's the hero we need but don't deserve.
Rodney is going to save the world.
Yes.
Somehow.
Somehow we will do it.
I gotta say, I was surprised that you two decided to reveal your secret to Michael this session. I was not expecting you guys to do that.
I felt it out of character. I felt it was kind of time and kind of necessary narratively because
so.
we only have a couple of these sessions, and I felt like it was important to get this information out there to him at this point. It was the right time to do it.
Yeah, I don't lie. I expected it more like next session, not like session 2, because
I
to
felt
me
like
that
it
was
was the best time for it. I felt it was the best time for it.
yeah, in game it felt right, but like before that, I would not have expected it.
And
I
now
know
he
it
has
messed
more.
up
Now he has more time to digest all the information, and then he can actually react to next sessions.
I do. It kind of threw off my original idea for how the vampire reveal was going to come out.
So I have a question for Viano. How's Viano been dealing with all this? Hey, how has he been reacting to the rings, and what are his thoughts on it?
He is extremely intrigued by the rings. He wants to learn about who made these rings, how they were made, why they were made.
Yeah,
He wants to know. There's a history about these rings that he doesn't know, and he wants to know it.
Yeah, Felix wants to know
Yes.
it himself, and he hopes to learn more. They seem really important, and every time he's gotten close to one, there's always seems to be a vision.
The unfortunate thing for Viano is that yes, those are all like very excellent questions, and it is far easier to answer those questions the more he has in his possession.
Yeah,
The more of the rings he has in his possession.
and
That's why he didn't really want to let that ring go.
yeah, in the future we may want to be a bit more. We may want to try and collect a bit more and be more persuasive in trying to get them.
Plus, he could actually travel to him pretty easily. So it wouldn't be that hard to do more research.
We could easily contact Norio for maybe consulting about the ring. We have, in a way, but due to Norio being easily available, we have access to 3 rings now, which is an entire 4th of the set.
Does it work like how the other one does with flying? He doesn't need to have the wand on him.
Depends on how compatible you are with the ring. The more compatible you are, you might not need the ring. I don't need to have my wand on me to actually to turn invisible.
Hey, that's an interesting point. Does Felix need to have his wand in hand to rewind time, or can he just do it at will?
If you're experimenting with it, then you will discover that you do not need to have it. You do not have to have the wand in your possession, as long as it's attached to your wand.
All right, that's cool. Good thing for Felix to know. And Felix will probably be continuing to experiment it in the time between missions.
Is that the same with Norio?
Are you well? If you're being given the manual, you will know that as long as the hoop is attached to your wand, you can heal regardless.
Wow.
Even if it's like across the room or in Timbuktu, as long as it's still attached to your wand, you can still heal.
Good.
Plus,
Start making healing potions when he has
Yes.
to. Just drink this and put pressure on the wound.
So wait, Felix could leave his wand back in America, and he could still rewind time.
That's how it works.
Okay, that's pretty cool.
I envision Norio doing the Mr. Miyagi.
I think Felix is going to continue to take his wand just in case he finds other rings.
Yeah. Like Norio's not gonna just leave his wand lying around, but
yeah, that seems like a terrible idea.
But it's nice that even if you're unarmed, you can still at least.
If someone
cast
takes my wand away, I can still go invisible.
Yes.
So left my wand off to the side. Somebody threw garlic powder in my face.
Someone disarmed me.
That's true.
I am very, very curious to see if I will get a ring and what kind of power it would have.
Yeah, we'll have to see. Wait and see. But I was hoping you would get a ring, but
Don't let the next one go.
Yeah.
I mean, like,
Wrestle it if you have
I
to.
couldn't even use that one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she was incompatible.
I was
We
completely incompatible.
we got to catch them all.
Yeah.
You gotta catch them all. Catch them all before the other cast does.
No.
Oh yeah. Let's see. Let's
Well,
have
you're
a
already up.
competition.
Who gets-
Which cast can get the most by the end?
I'm just saying, now that Michael knows about these rings, collecting them might be something in the interest of Orion.
Oh yeah, they could be
And
used
not-
as evidence. They could be used as evidence.
As evidence
yeah.
and as, kind of like, hey, maybe people shouldn't be having these.
Oh, hang
I'd
on.
like to point out mine can do no harm.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's healing.
Honestly,
Well,
And mine can't really do harm either. All I can do right now is just undo events.
You can change the fate of somebody with that. I'm
Yeah.
dying of cancer. I heal you. I go on to cause mass
I can
genocide.
stop you from dying.
I mean, but what's the difference between that and some like doctor doing it?
It's not magic. It's not like I'm dying of cancer. Boogity boogity, you're cured.
You're right. It's science.
Science.
Anyone can have.
And
I think it's science that you don't understand.
as far as we know, that works 100% of the time. With
You're
modern
sorry.
medicine, it's not 100%.
So one thing I want
If he would ask Vino about this, he would tell him that even magic is not 100%.
Yeah.
They can
Seems pretty
backfire.
100%.
one thing I want to say is this was a very chaotic session, but it was also very one of my favorite sessions and was very fun because we're used to having guests one at a time so far, but we had 3 guests at the same time, and it was probably the most we've had at once, and it was pretty fun in a way.
Ella, you're being very quiet. Do you have any questions or things you want to bring up?
Oh, I was just gonna say, like, these rings seem pretty powerful, and they can do lots of things. I'm just like, are there any side effects that people haven't figured out yet? Like
Yes,
if you if like the time thing happens, does it like steal like time from like the person who's using its like life force, or like the healing one, like you heal one person, but another person like 3 blocks away gets
we
sickness?
don't know.
Oh.
Lock them up. Just
Well,
lock them up. Lock them
well,
up.
well, for the invisibility, I know that if I'm use it too long, it just dispels. I can't become invisible after the time limit.
Honestly, I'm wondering if I'm only limited to the rewinding time, but I'd have to experiment. I remember a bunch of weird time things happening, but I wonder if I'm remembering wrong, if it was only rewinding that was happening during the incidents in Thailand.
No, I remember one moment that we seemed to see what's going to come next. There was the football incident.
The ball, yeah.
Yeah, there was a lot of weird stuff that wasn't just rewinding, I think.
Fast
Maybe
forwarding,
you don't
seeing
have
what's
control of it.
coming to next.
Maybe if you can't control it and you try to use it, the wand makes its own decisions.
Maybe. It wasn't really attached to a wand back then. It just kind of went chaotic when a cat messed with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
But theory is still somewhat the same.
Or maybe cats and rings have a negative effect on each other.
Or maybe it wasn't really a cat.
Yeah.
Or we just collect them all and let nobody use them.
I'm
Lock
not
them
sure if
away.
I agree with that. Now,
We'll see.
I think Felix wants to keep his hands on the Taurus ring for safekeeping.
Okay, well,
I'll
you
tell
can
you
go
what.
with the ring in the vault. That's fine.
All right, there.
Norio can stay in that vault for eternity.
Oh.
I don't know why,
Oh,
but it
that's
feels
sad.
like this session is really going to have an impact later on. Because a lot of things happened. We kind of
Yeah.
fucked up the vampire moot.
Whoops.
More and more evidence is getting out to the muggles. My resistance is growing. A lot has happened.
Yeah.
Little session. I'm kind of terrified to see what the results are
Oh,
going to be.
and Felix is going to have to go to Ilvermorny.
Bug the school.
We're gonna have to figure out how he's gonna do that.
If he's going to do that.
Yeah.
You need our character's help for that.
Yeah. And I doubt the bugs are going to work. So he's
Not
probably
if
gonna try-
Vito makes
Okay,
some
here's the
magical
thing.
bugs, man.
Okay, here's the thing. Felix is very fond of his school.
Okay.
He's a bit too loyal to bug his school. He loves Ilvermorny. It was his second home.
And I love my school too. But you're in the government now, son. You're not with your you're not conning people out of their money and living with a pothead anymore. You're with the government.
I still live with that pothead.
Yeah, they're still
That pothead's going to save the world.
Yeah, that pothead's gonna save the world, but I still live with him.
And to think, I actually thought about killing him in the first session.
Oh,
Wow.
You know what I think? I think I just realized who we've been talking about the entire time.
Anything else from this session for the vlog?
I don't know. After bugging the school, I'm pretty sure that's about all.
Look, if it was
We're not bugging the school, man.
like Hogwarts, he would do it. But it's Ilvermorny.
Yeah.
I wish that-
Mahotokoro is off limits as well.
Maybe we do Mahotokoro.
I don't think I could get into Bobatons to do it anymore.
Let me ask. So the two guest characters are joining the revolution. So does that mean that you are for revealing the Wizarding World to the Muggles? Is that what I'm hearing?
I think Norio believes it's inevitable, regardless of
Okay.
what happens. Technology is getting more advanced. While they aren't getting too much more perceptive than they have been in prior, they're becoming more numerous, and it's harder and harder to hide something from more and more eyes.
Yeah.
your rule doesn't
Control it.
wants to make it illegal for people to just go and kill a vampire if they want to. If it's public, people can rely on governments and stuff to protect them a bit better.
Yeah.
Rather than going, it's secret society, can't go for help to the local police because they're not running this.
I think that's also a big thing for Norio is if they're public, they can get help from Muggle governments because Ministry ain't doing anything.
Yeah. One of the things I know that is kind of a idea that's kind of going through Celeste and the other revolutionaries' head is that Muggles have progressed. They've moved past things they still have work to do, but they've actually made advancements toward dealing with racism and homophobia and sexism. They've made progress. The Wizarding World hasn't. So that's why she wants Muggles to kind of help them take over so they can have a progressive government.
That is true. The wizarding community does tend to be pretty set in their ways a lot, holding on to, which makes a lot of sense because they don't really embrace technology, advancing in technology. That's why they still use a lot of things that many Muggles have stopped using
Or remember the situation with House Elves and and then it was actually had to be Hermione who started Spew. Who was a Muggle-born.
Muggle-born.
The other sad thing is going with House Elves especially, it's almost that, I hate to say it, but that slave mentality of it's all they know. If you're freed, it's shameful. That is so wrong.
Yeah.
And that's why I was so happy when Harp liked my idea of having a revolutionary group. I was so happy that you liked it because it's at the end of Harry Potter, not much actually changed in terms of helping those people.
Oh yeah.
And
Yeah.
speaking of people who get the short end of the stick in Harry Potter universe, Squibs,
Squibs.
Yeah.
it's you don't have magic, you can't get a job here.
Yeah.
Also, you can't tell any Muggles about things, otherwise we're gonna go right their minds. Also, if you think, we're not gonna believe you.
Yeah.
How would Felix? I'm assuming at some point Felix might actually see that article about this quack of a Muggle daring to open a school for squibs in his basement.
Oh yeah, was there an actual article that came up?
Yeah, because I don't know if you saw the last session. Oh, oops! Actually, I think you're going to see that in 30 minutes.
Yeah,
You're going to see that in 30 minutes.
I was wondering if
Spoilers!
I think that's gonna be 30 minutes.
This is in 30.
I think I'll tell you what Felix thinks, but I think Felix, from what he saw of that Joe's thing, I think Felix would be like, if I wasn't currently working with Orion, I'd probably go over and help.
Oh, that would be sweet. Maybe you can get Orion to this Christmas do a little bit of a charity donation.
Maybe.
We have enough money to have a private jet and fly to the Philippines and Taiwan. Maybe we can give a little something to this poor.
Maybe we can find some funding if you bug the school, but
leverage. It's called leverage.
Michael, it is not going to happen. He's not going to betray his school.
Maybe there's a different school. You can bug another school.
Hey,
there's other schools.
Yeah,
why don't
let's
we bug
another school.
Bug them.
Yeah, well, I'll bug any school. I'm just saying, can we bug a place so we can get some evidence over here?
Yeah.
If you someday learn about my school, it might happen.
Yeah, send Celeste with bugs, or send Vienna with bugs to Durmstrang.
I was gonna say, why send me?
There we go.
You're gonna let a vampire anywhere near a school?
If this is gonna be canon, let me know.
No, not at all. They won't.
Vienna, go bug Ilvermorny.
What?
That's the only one I know.
There is so much
besides
happening
Boba.
now. I'm so confused.
We need to teach you all the schools.
That would be hilarious if just behind Felix's back, Michael tells Vienna to bug Ilvermorny, and all of a sudden you'll get all these feeds, and you're like, this Levi guy seems to be really desperate for girls.
Okay,
I'm really pulling for you, man.
Why do you want to
Come on,
book a
dude.
school? Why not book in a ministry building?
Question:
That works as well.
how old is Levi?
Levi's 16 or 17.
I really
think,
want
16 or 17.
Celeste to meet him when he's an adult, because it would be hilarious.
Okay.
Oh, she would so play with him.
Oh yeah.
Oh
I
god.
was saying the agents might walk in and listening to Michael listening to these feeds, and he's like, this Levi guy, he has such a craze with these girls, he's got to let it up. And they're like, what does this have to do with proving the existence of magic, Michael? This is wait, I gotta hear.
He's approaching the girl that he likes.
I was just about to say Michael is going to get his own soap opera.
It's his version of Days.
I'm pulling
got
for
all
you,
the
Levi. You can do it, buddy.
They've got Vienna. They've got 3 rings. They got 3. We should go there right now. Steal it while they're sleeping.
Why did you say that before? I was already there.
Oh my god! Oh my god! It turns into a heist episode. We break Ilvermorny.
We now would just go invisible, capture rings and leave.
Next session, I'll tell the players they wake up and they find out that all of their hoops are gone.
Oh,
Muriel,
Yes.
one of
My
them
collection gets bigger and bigger.
Oh god! We are the baddies.
Are we the baddie?
I will. Celeste might try and find some way, if Felix is going to go to Ilvermorny, to get her own message into the school somehow. Maybe start.
Okay.
I mean, what do cults do other than start impressing the minds of children?
There you go.
So she's going to be like, be
Propaganda.
pro the creatures. They're not that bad. Stop the oppression.
Actually, I did want to ask, why do you think it's important that these particular kids should find this particular map in this particular way? Why do you think that's important? Just because your vision told
Out
you?
of character or in character?
Both.
Okay, out of character, I think it would just be really cool to have that interaction between the campaign and them, and interacting with the main cast.
Just like bugging the school.
Like, yeah, maybe I should do a vision of yourself. or maybe Michael like goes to Celeste is like, so that legilimate thing does. Can you make somebody think they have a vision?
I had this weird mental image where Michael tried to sneak in with Felix. He had, like, tried to sneak in with it on his backpack or something, or in his bag, and it's just this very big bag that was shaped human, and that filled his
like Newt Scamander's suitcase.
Yeah.
Newt Scamander's suitcase. Yes.
And Michael keeps whispering out of it, "Bug the school, bug the school."
I see it as like an Inception thing. Like you're just sleeping one day and it's like Michael disappears. It's like, hey, bug the
whispers.
Because you brought up the legitimacy, I wasn't expecting to nearly get killed by doing it.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
So I can do it. I'm back again. The game just finished.
Oh, Drake. Yeah. Well, I guess since we have you, we just real quick. Do you have any like thoughts or any like behind the scenes questions you wanted to ask or whatever?
Not that I can think of. Well, except I like this game. It was really fun. It's being the bad guy and all that. And
Yeah.
even though I got caught and present, I still found it funny. I expected it.
Yeah, the critical success was huge. It was very huge and unfortunate for you. But I'll repeat what I told everybody else, and everyone agrees with me that mad props to you and amazing job, because it's not easy being the character that everyone eventually is gonna have to gang up on. And I know that can be really hard sometimes. So great job on, being able to portray the character and being willing to put yourself in that position. So
yeah, you did really well.
You did amazing.
Thanks.
Now that Mason is doing his thing, actually that might be how Mason might be able to negotiate getting released. He might tell Michael, if you want to bug the school so much, we can work something out.
Yeah, because this is a very old vampire that managed to do some things. What else might he know?
Did anyone, I think another big question that people asked while you were gone is, was there anything that happened during the session that really surprised you?
That crit, yes.
What did?
That crit to see my mind. I was just like, yeah, sure, go ahead. Mason wouldn't resist anyway, because that would just make him suspicious. Even more so.
And honestly, you had so many supporters that I think you were honestly just relying on them to have your back, and they did. Mm-hmm. So that was probably the smartest thing he could have done.
I was also surprised that you put Mason as the leader after those skip. That's good.
Yeah.
I thought it would be interesting if you were the leader. Yes.
I will say that's probably one reason why Celeste was so angry at him.
Yeah.
Took your husband's place.
Well, not husband, but yes. But yeah, because a lot of it just felt like you power grabbing little bitch. She was furious.
If he was a power grabber, he would not have left the council or the client he was in part of.
I guess it all depends on how you look at power. So, again, Celeste, she's not the most intelligent person. She's not an idiot, but she's not super intelligent. And she is powered very heavily by emotion. So she makes rash decisions because she's
see that.
emotional. And she's not even
inverse of Norio.
What I think is hilarious though, she is still super young for a turned vampire. She's not even 50.
For Mason, you were all just babies.
You're barely newborns.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Well, I just want to say thank you guys so much for joining us. It was super fun having you all here. And I appreciate the three of you for making this whole process super easy, because I have to be perfectly honest with you. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of you all at once, and that's really hard to do in any tabletop setting, but you all made it work. And I appreciate you guys not making it too super chaotic. It worked very smoothly, all things considered. So thank you guys so much. And yeah, I can't wait to have this released and posted. Cool. So thanks everybody for watching.
Later.
Bye.
Sorry, I couldn't kill you guys.